This land isn't just in your blood. It's under your fingernails and worn with pride. It's not a job. It's your livelihood. Here, overtime is all the time. But you wouldn't have it any other way. It's written into your DNA. It's what you thrive on. And while farming will never be easy, we can make it better. Introducing the Pioneer 100 series. Meaningfully different canola hybrids.
It's time for RealAg Radio on Rural Radio Channel 147 on Sirius XM. RealAg Radio and RealAgriculture.com is your home for insight and analysis of the issues that are impacting your farm business. Let's get real and get connected with RealAg Radio. Welcome to RealAg Radio here on Rural Radio 147 Sirius XM. Shaun Haney, your host here on this Thursday edition of the show for the Farmer Rapid Fire, which is brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. Listen, Pioneer 100 series, the highest yielding Pioneer brand canola hybrids ever. This isn't just better canola, everybody. It is different canola. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative or visit pioneer.com/100 series to learn more. Hey, we got a great show for you here today. Great lineup. We're going to hear from John Seliga from Pioneer out in London, Ontario. We're also going to hear today from Riley Anderson in Manitoba. Josh Boersen is in Ontario. We got Jeff Nonay from Alberta, and Jocelyn Wasko is from Saskatchewan. If you have feedback on today's show, you can send me an email, shaney@realagriculture.com, or call the RealAg feedback line, 855-776-6147. And here's a special surprise. You can text us now. You can text us at 855-776-6147. The Farmer Rapid Fire on RealAg Radio is brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. Appreciate their exclusive sponsorship of the Farmer Rapid Fire here on RealAg Radio. Let's start off the Farmer Rapid Fire in Red River Valley, Manitoba. We're talking to Riley Anderson. Hey, Riley, how we doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Okay, so how's harvest progressing there?
Very good. We wrapped up soybeans about 20 minutes ago, and now we just have corn left.
Oh, okay. And how did the beans go? Pretty good?
They started off very good, and with the hot, dry weather we've had, we lost a lot of moisture, and the yields kind of dropped off, but still very good crop.
Okay, so earlier seeded, earlier planted beans did better than the later?
Earlier harvested beans before the moisture dropped out of the beans.
Yeah.
We started off at like 13.5 and finished up at like 8.5.
Okay. How do you think the corn's going to do?
I think we're going to be very good. Last year was a record for my farm, and the corn looks almost as good, if not just as good as last year.
And what has led to giving you that opportunity to have better looking corn this year?
We got warm here in August, and we caught some timely rains. We were on the dry side all summer long, but we caught rains at the right time, and the corn has just shot up and used all the water that's been available to it. And then heat all the way through into now, like we haven't had a killing frost yet, so we're doing good.
Yeah, and what would be your average killing frost date? We're past that, no?
Oh yeah, we always talk about wanting to have everything mature by the 15th of September, and we're a good 15 days past that now.
Yeah, when Mother Nature cooperates, boy, we look like smart farmers, don't we?
Oh, yes. A wise man once told me rain covers up all the farmer's sins.
Isn't that true? Do you got a bunch of fall work to do this year?
Yes, we do. Sorry about that. We have a bunch of NH3 to apply, and then our corn tillage program's pretty heavy, so we'll go with that. And then soybeans will probably just knife and hydrous into that ground and leave it.
Okay. And do you do a bunch of fall weed control this year, or are you going to wait till spring?
So normally the frost does that for us, but this year without the frost, we've sprayed a lot of our oat stubble and some of our wheat stubble, trying to just kill the regrowth on the crop, and then crop on the stubble, and then also go after those pesky weeds that keep growing into the fall.
How are you sitting moisture-wise? You mentioned it kind of got hot and dry in the back end of summer here. How are you sitting moisture-wise as we head into getting a little bit closer to when snows are going to start to fly?
So right where I am, we're in a pretty good spot. You go about 10, 15 miles north of me, and they're cutting ruts one end of the field to the other. They caught a couple 4-inch rains here in the last month, and we got a couple tenths out of them here and there. So I would say we're sitting very good. We're not dry and we're not wet. We're kind of in that mushy middle in fall. We're not cutting ruts, but we're pushing mud on the knife of the beans. So we're okay moisture-wise, but we're in better shape than a lot of people right around us.
Yeah, well, I've mentioned on the show before, I've got 2 boys that are going to college in Bismarck, North Dakota, and they have had some epic rains that have gone through that city, and parts of North Dakota. Like, some of the videos the boys have sent me have been nuts. Clearly, it's just, where was this in June?
Yeah, exactly, when the crop needed it. I got a couple friends that farm north of the city of Winnipeg, and the one guy was interviewed by the local TV station about drought, and then they caught 7 inches in 3 days right after. And that same TV station came out and had an interview with him about flooding.
No.
So it just best of both worlds. And we're going to look back in 20 years and say, oh, we had an average rainfall from April 1st to September 7th or September 30th.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Hey, how is the equipment run this year?
It's run actually very well. We knock on wood, we haven't had any serious issues, and everything. We dried a bunch of oats this fall just because we got some rain right around that time, and dryer worked awesome, and combines worked really good, and haven't had to put any motors in any tractors or trucks this year, so that's always a win.
Has that been a problem in the past?
Yeah, well, the last couple of years it seems like we do a motor a year. So I don't know if we're just pushing our equipment a little bit too far with the price of new stuff, or if we're just running it too hard. I don't know, but seems like they don't build stuff like they used to.
For your farm, have you backed off of equipment purchases? And the reason I ask, Riley, is because that was one of the things that Canadian farmers said they were going to do heading into the 2025 year as far as cost cutting. But the new equipment sales have been really strong. The U.S., they've been awful. But in Canada, we're actually very close to last year's numbers. What have you done on your farm?
So it has been a while since we've bought anything brand new on our farm. We like to fit into that gently used market. I think that fits for our acre size and the duplicates that we're at for what we're doing. So that way we've been out of the new market for a lot of years. We picked up one tractor this spring that was a need/want for a couple years, and we found the right one with the right hours. So that's kind of how we look at things. We're not out there flipping when we have a good crop or not kind of thing. We're kind of, when it fits what we're looking at and it fits our numbers, we pull the trigger. So I look at equipment as a tool, and you need the tools to farm, and just because the grain prices suck doesn't mean you can't buy new equipment or you can't buy equipment, but you have to be strategic with it. You can't just go buy an extra combine because you had a good crop kind of thing. And so that's kind of our strategy on what we're doing with equipment. So I'm looking at it more of a 5 to 10 year program rather than a 1 or 2 year swing. But definitely with the markets, we've tightened everything up a little bit.
Are you Are you loyal to certain brands, or are you kind of brand agnostic and kind of look at what's available and the pricing based on what you're looking for? How do you do it?
I'm loyal to service and parts. If you provide those two things for me, I'll buy your color of equipment.
I think there's a lot of growers like that. No, I don't think that's like some sort of crazy island of Riley.
I like with the cost of machinery today, uptime is number one. And if we are waiting for parts to come from Europe or Iowa or name your Winnipeg, that is a problem. We have to have uptime. And if a dealership is willing to make an investment in a parts department that stocks parts, I will make an investment in that dealership by buying their color of equipment.
Could you imagine the island of Riley and what that would look like and what that could be?
The world would be perfect, but I would hate so many people because they all think exactly like me, and I couldn't get an advantage on anybody.
What at the Island of Riley bar? Because there's a beach bar at the Island of Riley. What brand of beer are you serving?
Oh, Coors Light.
Coors Light, really? That's what you're going with?
I'm a redneck from just north of North Dakota. It doesn't get any better than that.
Hey, that is awesome. Hey, Riley, thanks so much for joining us here today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no, that's good. Thank you.
We've got more of the Farmer Rapid Fire brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada coming up right after this quick break. For decades, BSF has delivered trusted weed control to canola growers. And we're always innovating to help you farm into the future. Introducing new Liberty Amp herbicide. With 20% more concentration, Liberty Amp offers superior weed control with lower use rates. And it's backed by the BSF Performance Support Guarantee. Liberty Amp. It hits harder and goes further. Learn more at agsolutions.ca/LibertyAmp.
I'm Lindsay Smith, host of The Agronomist, and I want to thank you for tuning in for over 200 episodes of our beloved little program. Join me Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube for our live and interactive agronomy Q&A. Each week, our guest panel will handle some of your toughest agronomic questions live, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, and RealAgriculture.com. Tune in Monday nights or go to RealAgriculture.com/agronomist and sign up for our email notifications and don't miss an episode.
Rhizosorb is the next generation of phosphorus fertilizer, demonstrating consistent yield results and cost savings to row crop producers across North America.
Unlike other products on the market, Rhizosorb has reliable and consistent results across crops and soil types. It doesn't cost more to use, and no changes to retail or farm operations are needed. Rhizosorb technology is not a biological or a biostimulant, but rather a soil chemistry approach to controlling the release of applied phosphates.
Go to phospolutions.com to find out more. The Farmer Rapid Fire on RealAg Radio is brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. Appreciate their exclusive sponsorship of the Farmer Rapid Fire here on RealAg Radio. Up next on the Farmer Rapid Fire, let's go to Gadshill, Ontario, and we're talking to Josh Boersen. Josh, how are we doing?
Pretty good, Shaun. Just busy seeding some wheat today.
Okay. Some wheat seeding. How you same acres as last year, or what are you thinking?
No, I would say ourselves were down, but just with the rotation, the way it worked last year, we were maybe unusually high, so we're probably a little bit closer to the average now.
Okay. I thought maybe you were going to say it was like a protest against wheat peat or something.
Well, he and I have to work together, so I can't plant no wheat, or that probably wouldn't work very good. So.
Well, but if you didn't plant any wheat, you wouldn't have to see them.
Touché.
Good stuff. Okay, how's are you into soybeans?
Actually, we've been wrapped up soys for about a week now, and
nice.
I just finished the edibles yesterday.
And are we a happy farmer, or how are we feeling?
We are an average farmer, I guess. We, considering how dry we were in August, we probably made out not too bad, and we're certainly not hurting as bad as some of the Eastern Ontario farmers are right now.
Yeah, there's some areas where there is big time yield concerns because it's been very dry. It hasn't been like a Swift Current Saskatchewan dry for those farmers in Ontario, but in their context, it's been very dry, and I've heard some poor yields out there.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate here in the Great Lakes Basin, and maybe where I am a little more so. But when the weather turns cold, then we just get to welcome all the very hard water as it comes. So.
What's your expectation on corn?
Oh boy, I think that if I was betting on it, I'd bet the wrong way. It was so dry so long. I have a suspicion that we're going to have some lower test weight than we would like, so I hope that we don't get into too many quality issues. I've heard some challenges with standability kind of already creeping up, so we may get an average yield, but there's might be some battles ahead yet.
Yeah, from a marketing standpoint, have you we had the USDA report earlier this week? There is a lot of corn in the United States. What it's put pressure on the futures market. We'll have to see how all this works out. But how are you handling your marketing on your farm?
Well, probably not as proactive as I should have. I guess at this point, we're not going to sit on any soybeans or beans. Those have all been sold or marketed either off the combine or ahead of time. And the canola was the same way. And we're kind of storing some wheat and corn and just going to see if our local feed basis will maybe keep us going here in Ontario. We do have that benefit, especially where we're located. We probably have most of the milling capacity in southwestern Ontario within about an hour of our doorstep.
Wow. Okay. This is really one of those years where it's sort of a try to figure stuff out and try to live to fight another day, and hopefully 26 is looking better.
Yeah, that's probably nothing truer said at some point here. We're just trying to get through with the equipment that we have and keep it going. That's been a bit of a struggle this year, and yeah, we'll see what 26 brings. That's why we're planting wheat, Shaun. I mean, we're looking ahead, not behind.
Oh my, you are tall tales being told there, Josh. Tall tales being told. It is a good reminder though, and it's a bit of an unfortunate reminder. But you think about what the income statements for corn and bean growers in 2021, 22 looked like, versus what a lot of bankers are going to see this year. It's just a good reminder how fast things can turn.
Well, that's absolutely true. And in our area, there's a lot of livestock, like I mentioned, with all the milling capacity. So many farms, and ours included, are diversified outside of grain. So hopefully those other sides of the business are going to keep those farmers rolling along. But if you're just farming grain, it's going to be challenging rolling into 26. There's no question.
Yeah, and one of the a lot of times we focus on what the prices are on the commodity, like corn and beans and wheat. But I think a lot of producers, the first thing they would bring up is what some of the input prices have been. They have just not fallen like we've seen the commodity market fall. And those sticky input prices on fertilizer specifically have really presented a challenge for farmers to turn a profitable margin in 25 and also forecast it for 26.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right there as well. We normally have what we call a summer fill program or fall fill program for 28% UAN in our area, and that program has been, I think, scaled back. If you ask me, it was deliberate by the manufacturers to kind of restrict supply to a certain extent, and nitrogen costs have gone up, not down, and they're not coming down. That buy program was far less attractive than it was last year, and with commodity prices going the other way, a lot of farmers I talk to are just not really sure if they even want to hedge that bet right now. For all we know, it might be more in the spring, I suppose. But at this point, it seems like a gamble no matter what you do.
Do you have some sales on the sheet for 26 corn yet, or are you just standing by?
No, I don't have anything outside of, other than like 25 crops sold into 2026, but 26 crops sold.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Is that something you typically do, Josh, or do you deal with one crop year at a time?
It depends, I guess, where the markets are. To be honest, nothing really excites me now. I know that when I was delivering in July, $9 wheat that I had sold 2 years ago, or whenever that wild run was, I sure felt a lot better about it this July than I did making that sale 2 years ago. But 2 years ago, me wished I'd have sold twice as much or more.
And where's wheat right now? If you were going to book some wheat today, what would it sell for?
Well, there was a time not too long ago where the cash price on wheat was actually poorer than corn, or equal to, which is really hard on margins. So, we're maybe high sixes or just touching $7 here cash, and
yuck.
That's pretty low when you need more like maybe 8 or 9 to make the pencil start with blacking. Yeah.
Well, it's like you said, it's 25 is shaping up to be a bit a tough year for sure. There's a lot of concerns about farm profitability out there, but this is farming, and I think there's been many people say on this show, you got to be optimistic, right? That's kind of the attitude you got to have.
Oh, we got to try. Although your farmer sentiment thing that you do doesn't seem to show that, but I don't.
Yeah, it has been a little bit negative. I'm looking forward to. We're going to be doing an intake here in October, and I'm interested to see what it looks like. You're right though. Current farm financial performance, future farm financial performance, outlook for the next year, outlook for the next 5 years. It's been pretty negative. You are correct, my friend. But we'll have to see what the October numbers show. I appreciate you referencing that indeed. Hey, Josh, have yourself a great rest of your harvest. Get into that corn, and hopefully it surprises you to the upside, okay?
Yeah, no, sounds good, Shaun. Always good to talk to you. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. That is Josh Boersen out of Ontario. Okay, we've got more of the Farmer Rapid Fire brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada coming up right after this.
Fall harvest has come. Then every pass in the field matters. Tired of overlapping rows or missing spots? Meet the FJD AT2 Auto Steer System, your precision navigation partner this harvest season. The AT2 delivers 2.5 centimeter accuracy on any terrain. It comes with lifetime PPP correction at no subscription cost, no extra fees, and a full 2-year warranty. Start your inquiry today at fjdynamics.com. FJ Dynamics, precision agriculture tech for every harvest.
If you're involved in the agriculture industry, it's important to stay informed on all the latest issues affecting your business. At RealAgriculture.com, we offer fast, reliable news, information, and insights to help you keep on top of all of the latest in Canadian agriculture. Visit RealAgriculture.com and sign up for our free daily newsletter covering everything from news, agronomy, animal agriculture, and much more. Visit RealAgriculture.com/subscribe today.
RealAg Radio is Canada's only daily radio show focused on agriculture. Get expert advice on Agronomic Monday. Tuesdays and Wednesdays will cover a broad range of issues. Thursday we'll hear from farmers across the country on the Farmer Rapid Fire. And we'll wrap things up Fridays with the RealAg Issues panel with Kelvin Hepner and Lindsay Smith. Join us Monday through Friday at 4:30 Eastern. And don't forget about the replay at 7 in the morning on Rural Radio 147, Sirius XM. And welcome back to RealAg Radio for the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. Joining us from just outside Edmonton, Alberta, it is Jeff Nonay. Hey, Jeff, how are we doing?
Good. How's it going, Shaun?
Pretty good. Okay, how is harvest progressing?
Everything around me is pretty much cleaned up. You have to go pretty far to find somebody that is still in the fields. We are one of them. Some of that good Pioneer seeds actually producing a heck of a corn crop, and caught a little bit of rain, so we're a half day away from wrapping that up. And a little bit of canola that was also not quite ready last week, so we were pushed it behind the corn harvest. So just kind of how those dominoes fall. I think everyone can see the finish line for the most part, and it's been a heck of a run up here.
Yeah, no, so would this harvest progress be ahead of normal compared to past years then?
Way ahead, yeah. Yeah, guys were wrapping up. In the third week of September, there were some early guys that push hard that were wrapping up big acres. I mean, equipment's gotten bigger, but it was relentless isn't the word, but it is. Like, there was not a break. It was warm day after warm day, and the combines were going. The crops were maturing as fast as we could get to them. And that was the common thing you'd hear the neighbors talk about, is just that bit of exhaustion because there was not a day off, and guys just kept their foot in it. And pretty exciting. Like, it's kind of exciting and interesting and very different. I can remember being done harvest in September, a couple decades ago, and then here and there in between. But this one was different. It started a bit early, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a grueling stretch.
You're going to have some time for some fall work.
Yeah, some guys are looking at that. We're going to get our couple fields where we like to get some fall fertilizer down on next year's spud crop and corn crop. And, I think there is a little bit of finding that balance of changing the pace, but not letting off the gas too much, because fall does sneak up on you up here. Yeah.
How is the seed potato game?
Boy, I am a small player, and, fortunate to have a good, strong relationship and my seed. Last year, I've had years where I've sold 100% of it to one main outfit. This year it went a couple directions just with a variety that Lamb Weston likes. So I don't have that kind of pressure of this year where there's a lot of pullback. So there's a lot of seed that got thrown out, a lot of potatoes that got thrown out. I've been in the business for 25 years, and man, that seems to be the case more often than not, that, if there's too much commercial potatoes, that carries through, that puts pressure on acres, that definitely hinders the seed world. And if you have too much seed, then guys are chasing that. We're all trying to find a home for it, and it's just not there. So I've really simplified that. I enjoy growing them. I've got a good relationship with the buyers that I have, and that's the way I run it. But the other operations are getting bigger, and it's a little bit of a different world for them.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. It's kind of a niche stream that is very valuable, and it's it's its own kind of corner of the industry, right? So it's very, very fascinating. No, not just potatoes, but like seed potatoes is its own special whole set of circumstances.
Yeah, and the guys around me that get bigger up seed and the commercial end, man, can they put potatoes away? Like, I'd love to go and watch some of these bigger setups with bigger equipment and in the South where there's just the sheer volume, I think, would be mind-boggling to even people in ag, but especially the consumer, to see that amount of just, it feels like a surplus or that there's kind of, it's really reckoning that bag of potatoes on the grocery store shelf will never look the same. Yeah.
Now, how are things going in the dairy?
I think my view on dairy, the price is down a little from last year. The blend price, costs are softer a little bit around the grain side of things. Hard to know. The beef side of my operation, just from finishing beef and connecting with consumers, it sure balances out the idea of having cattle around. Dairy's steady. There's some excitement around it, I think, as far as where the future should go. Obviously, the DIW plant here in Alberta Agriculture, I haven't had any details come from Alberta Milk. They kind of like to keep us in the dark, or they're in the dark, or whatever. But Saputo in Edmonton is spending $50 million upgrading a plant, and you're hearing that across Canada. Chapman's out east, some massive plant infrastructure and Chobani yogurt in the U.S. So some real positive things as far as dairy consumption. And that's the one thing about this immigration and the population that is growing in Alberta and across North America is that they are consuming dairy. So demand has been strong, and it's just a matter of calibrating and finding what size of operation fits the current market space.
You know, your statement there does tell a little bit of a tale in terms of how things have sort of flipped around, where we're saying that the beef operation, the beef side of the business, is helping out other areas like dairy. That's just mind-boggling to me.
The demand, man, the beef side and the demand and for crossbred calves or straight Holsteins, or it's, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it if you weren't living it. The dollars are pretty crazy. I don't know where beef goes to next year. I've been talking to my end users. I'm selling finished beef on the hook, 900-pound carcasses basically for what the neighbor's getting for his 900-pound calves right now. And I don't know where that math is going to come from come spring when those calves are finished in a feedlot. But time will tell.
Now, has the direct-to-consumer market been, you've been doing a lot of work into the Edmonton restaurant trade. How's that been going?
I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. The demand's picked up here, my particular niche. It's harder to get a premium in this market space, but I think it's an opportunity for me to grow my base and build some stability into the future and have people understand, the product that I'm delivering is a little different than the stuff you get from the commercial system, from how I raise it and finish it to the fact that it's dry aged and most of what I'm dealing directly with every week. I'm up to 2 animals right now every week, piecing them out and getting them out to a few different locations. But that I think is going to bode well long term, and it's a lot of fun. I'm actually I'm on my way right now. I cooked up 40 liters of chili on Monday at one of my restaurant connections and friends, and I entered into the CFR chili cook-off. So I'm getting myself set up, and that part of it is a lot of fun for me, and a good brand building and a good connection thing.
Are you? Do you feel pretty confident in your chili cook-off recipe?
Yes, it is. It's a skirt steak chili, and I upped the recipe. Obviously, everything in there is Wagyu, and topping it with some creme fraiche out of the dairy processing plant, and it's going to be a lot of fun either way. But I think I like my chances.
Nice. Well, who doesn't love a good chili? Especially as we get, to the back end of fall. Weather's still been pretty nice, but we get to the back end of fall, we get into when the snow starts to fly. Chili is like that. That's like A1, man. That's perfect.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of options. I think there's 13 entries, and mine's a hearty one. There's a lot of beef in that one.
Nice. Well, that's how it should be. Well, keep us updated on that, Jeff. Congratulations on the entry, and hopefully you bring home that first place ribbon. And remember, if you're not first, you're last, okay?
Exactly. We'll find out soon enough.
Okay, Jeff, thanks a lot for joining us here today. Appreciate it.
Right on. Thanks, Shaun.
Okay, we'll be right back on RealAg Radio. I'm getting hungry talking about all this food. We'll be right back on RealAg Radio, brought to you today by Pioneer Seeds Canada.
Kochia sucks.
Big time. And hate it. Really gets in the way. Awful.
But not anymore. Get a head start on tough-to-kill weeds like kochia this fall with Volterra EZ and Fierce EZ Soil Active Herbicide. Apply after harvest before freeze-up for up to 8 weeks of extended control in pulses, soybeans, and wheat next spring. Volterra EZ, Fierce EZ for kochia. Visit newfarm.ca/kochia.
Peter Johnson at WheatPete, RealAgriculture.com. I'm the host of The Word, and I love doing The Word. I love the questions. I love the challenges. I love having to apply agronomics to all over the globe and areas outside of my normal jurisdiction. Also, I love the feedback the most, where growers challenge me, tell me about their plot results, help me to learn. The Word, absolutely the best part of my day.
Up next on the Farmer Rapid Fire, we go to Eastend, Saskatchewan. We're talking to Jocelyn Wasko. Jocelyn, how are we doing?
We are good. How are you doing, Shaun?
I'm doing pretty good. And, of course, the Farmer Rapid Fire is brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. I should mention that. I guess what's going on the ranch this week? What are you up to?
It has been kind of a crazy, busy fall. We're still combining, which is not like us down here. Just chickpeas left, and they are sure taking their sweet time to dry down. So just kind of battling with that. But we've kind of moved on to cow stuff. So we're lucky that we have a crew that can kind of split up and go. So we've got one guy in the combine. We're moving cows home and getting ready for weaning and all things like preg checking, all the fall things that have to be done. We're building up some fences because we're actually going to seed some of the farm to grass next year to accommodate some of the growth that we're planning on the cow side. So yeah, just kind of your typical crazy fall stuff, trying to get some of the projects done, but also just dealing with this mountain of work that just doesn't seem to want to go away.
Yeah. So retaining some heifers, are we?
We are retaining heifers. We are buying bred heifers. We are buying cows.
Wow.
In expansion mode. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the market's definitely signaling that. It's been a crazy couple of years here.
Yeah, it has. And I mean, we almost needed to build back up after the years of drought, and we've been culling our herd pretty hard. So we've been slowly building back up, but then this year we were like, you know what, we need to just get this done. We need to be buying cows where we can. So we bought cows this spring as well. So we're going for it. We are kind of jumping all in. We're, like I said before, we're going to seed some of the farm to grass. I've dedicated 2026 to the year we cater to the cows. So I'm very excited.
Well, that's good. I like the excitement. So when I guess, what does the evaluation or the process look like if you're going to go out and buy bred cows? Are you like what does that look like? Are you doing that at the auction mart? Are you doing that private sale with ranches that you know? Like how does that work?
We're doing that private sales, ranches that we know, ideally a large sum of cows from one herd.
Okay.
So, and local. So we like to kind of buy from programs that are similar to our own. Just the retention's a little bit better. And, so no, we haven't done any auction market buying. It's been all private. And, so far so good.
Kind of a fun process, though, to kind of sit down. I'm sure you and Travis sit down and try to sort this. Okay, what do we want this? What do we want the operation to look like? What do we need to do for ourselves and the family, and just kind of do some goal setting? That's a pretty exciting time.
It is, and you know what? It's actually interesting you bring this up. Travis and I participated in a young rancher survey 10 years ago with Kathy Larson.
Yeah.
So then our 10 years later was just this, just 2 months ago, and Lindsay Henheffer interviewed us, and we got to review some of the answers we gave 10 years ago and what our goals were and what we kind of set our sights on for what our operation was going to look like in 10 years. So it was a really interesting way to kind of look back on where we wanted to be and now to see where we are. And then again, now we're kind of it seems like Travis and I are always like, okay, what's next? How can we build into something that's next? What's going to make us kind of more successful in this venture in the future? And we just kind of have always gone for it. And yeah, it was really interesting to reflect. And then again, now that we're kind of going all in on the cows, which I don't think was ever a strange thing for Travis and I to want to do. This has always been the goal. Mother Nature has always been the Achilles heel here. And now we're just going for it. It's exciting. I mean, I love being in this industry, and it's really fun to set these goals and try to achieve them.
Okay, so as you look back on that 10-year plan that you just reviewed, what was the biggest thread of learning that you were like, oh, that's interesting, or we hit on that, or boy, were we wrong there? What was something you pulled out of it?
I think what I found the most interesting is that we had these really big, lofty goals 10 years ago, and we've accomplished them. Like, we kind of just set our sights and we got to work and we did them. And to be able to look back and re-answer these questions, like, no, actually, we did accomplish that. We have done that, and it was a success. Or, you know, there's some things that are a bit of a flop, but overall, yeah, it was really cool to just reflect on that. I don't think anything was a huge miss, because I think the biggest takeaway is that we didn't pass up very many opportunities. We just kind of took them. So
yeah,
turns out it pays off when you're aggressive.
Yeah, well, good for you. No, I think that's really awesome, and they have the opportunity to go back and do that kind of stuff, especially at a time where you're setting, new sets of goals and a new, maybe not a new strategic plan, but you're updating kind of where do we go from here. That past experience helps you even be a little bit more prolific in the next set of plans and goals. And so I think it's a really good practice. It's not about being right. It's about going through that process and thinking through all the steps. And I just think we actually, not enough farms are doing and ranches are doing this kind of stuff. So congratulations for doing it.
Yeah, it is a very valuable practice. If you have any type of resources, if anyone keeps any kind of records, go through them and just reflect and kind of see where you can go from there. It was a very worthwhile exercise for us.
How are the grass conditions?
Yeah, what a bizarre weather year, honestly. So we seeded into dust, and the whole spring was just gross. It rained in June quite a bit, so got things started. The grass kind of got a little bit of moisture there. And then we missed quite a few rains in July at the farm, but caught some here at the ranch. And then the life cycle of the farm, so all of the crops kind of were done. And then August, it was just rain. It just kept raining. We didn't get anything outrageous. There was areas that were saying we've had 12 inches of rain. No, we didn't have that, but we had 5 inches of rain, which is a yearly rainfall down here. So the grass was phenomenal. I can't even explain what it was like to drive around this ranch in August, and it is lush and green, and cows have grass up to their bellies. It was just bizarre. So the grass held on. It still looks great. It has not rained since the rain in August, which is what it is. It's just kind of what this area does. It makes you think, yeah, that's it. The drought's going to be over. And then she's like, never mind. We're turning off the tap for 2 months.
Yeah, and remember, you're in Eastend, Saskatchewan, which is traditionally a very drought area. It is short grass country. It is not, the lush neighborhood of a Prince Albert that a Tim Alexkin would live in. That's easy street. This is different.
Yeah, no, we have not seen grass like this in a long time, so it really helped to build up some reserves. All those fields that we have been so careful with, and we've had such low stocking rates on because of these multiple years of drought, they really thrived. So we grew tons of grass. Everything's good. Hopefully we'll get some fall moisture, because right now we're not going into the fall looking that awesome. But the way that we kind of run on a yearly rotational grazing around here, so it doesn't affect what we're going to do. We already had our grass saved for the fall. That was always saved for the fall. We already have grass saved for the winter. It's already saved for the winter, kind of thing. But it really did make us not worry about that summer grass, which usually in August you're getting a little worried about things growing.
Yeah. Well, I'm now going to have every rancher around Prince Albert sending me text messages that I said it was easy street. So
yeah, and
good job,
nice
Shaun.
to Tim. He's a great guy.
He is a good guy, but more of a listening check, if anything. Hey, Jocelyn, thanks so much for joining us here today. And again, congratulations on the expansion, and look forward to hearing more about it as time marches on. Say hi to Travis.
I will. Thanks, Shaun. Take care.
We got more coming up here on the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada, right after this. built on over 100 years of seed innovation and unwavering commitment to farmers, Pioneer 100 Series canola hybrids deliver a step change in yield performance and agronomic traits. This isn't just better canola, it's different canola. Pioneer 100 Series. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative or visit pioneer.com/100 series to learn more today.
Whether you're running a farm operation, in a career within an organization, starting your own business, looking for your dream job, operating a company in agri-food, or want to hone your overall life skills, this conference is for you. Celebrating over 10 years of bringing women in ag and food together, join the Advancing Women Conference in Niagara Falls on November 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Visit advancingwomenconference.ca for more information and to register.
And welcome back to RealAg Radio here on Rural Radio 147 Sirius XM for the Farmer Rapid Fire, brought to you by Pioneer Seeds Canada. And speaking of Pioneer, joining us right now is John Seliga, who is based out of London, Ontario. Hey, John, how are we doing?
Very good, Sean. Very good.
Okay, well, hey, we're in the beginning of October. We're in the mix of it here, my friend. What's happening in your territory right now?
Well, it really doesn't feel like October 1st, Sean. It's really, really warm. We've had some incredibly hot temperatures. We are dry. We've had a couple of rains recently, but the crop in general has kind of hit a wall. We're seeing a lot of soybeans and corn that are basically prematurely dying versus maturing naturally. Somewhat of a concern. However, early reports, like we've been at beans now for a week or so. They're really going hard this week. A lot of variability in yields, but I've been very surprised and pleased with some of the 60 and 70 bushel yields that I've been hearing on some of the crop that are getting pulled out. So
wow. 60 or 70 bushel beans.
Yeah. I don't, honestly, I'm not sure where they came from, but they some areas had timely rains. There are disappointments out there for sure. Some folks down in the 30s. But in general, I would say a very, very respectable yield for the soybean crop, which bodes well for what we're hoping to see with corn. We do see ear drop happening on some of the most drought-stricken areas where the crop was really shortchanged on moisture. And of course, we don't like to see that ear drop before corn gets to black layer, right? Yep. Because then we cut off all the resources to that ear, and we start to shortchange some of that yield potential that we're trying to build.
John, are you worried about this premise that some of the corn is dying, not maturing, and the impact what we could see on the yield monitor?
Yeah, I think I think from what I've seen, the crop set up a very respectable yield. Like ear size is good, kernel count is good. We're really getting shortchanged on the very tail end. So, some of the things I'd be thinking about is maybe some compromise on our test weight, a little bit of compromise on some of that final grain fill. A lot of the yield potential now is coming from that kernel depth that we talk about, And so if we shut that crop off just a little bit too early before we reach physiological maturity, we are going to compromise some bushels. That remains to be seen. We really haven't got into corn harvest yet, or grain corn harvest yet. Yeah. Silage is pretty much done, fairly wrapped up. Some good yields on silage that we've been told of. I haven't heard a lot of quality results yet, but it looked like it was going to be a decent crop. And I have not seen my territory, which is which is a good thing. We live in a part of the world where gibberella ear mold can be a problem. But yeah, we've seen some frequency, but it's very low frequency. So that's good.
Yeah, you think about all the talk about tar spot in 2024. That was the thing, right? And again, it shows the Mother Nature. There has to be conditions, and we have not seen the tar spot load this year like we saw in 24.
No, absolutely not. It was non-existent for the most part early in the season. Now, if you're walking corn plots, we've been walking some of our research plots in the last week. You can find tar spot now, but that didn't start. It didn't start moving until after we got through that real hot spell in kind of late July, early August. It was just so hot that disease was not able to replicate and complete its life cycle. So it sat dormant until the weather conditions allowed it to move. So we are seeing some tar spot now. It's not really going to mean anything in terms of yield compromise, but the drought is going to be probably the primary factor. A little bit of northern corn leaf blight that has come in late as well in certain pockets. But leaf diseases in general, it was just not a great year for leaf disease.
Yeah. And hey, this is the time of the year, too, where we're thinking a lot about in the next growing season. This is hybrid selection time when it comes to 2026. We got to keep all of these things in mind because this year is not next year. There's always a difference.
No, absolutely not. The other thing I want growers to be thinking about because of this premature death and some of the crop coming to a sudden finish, it would be warranted to check fields ahead of harvest and just scout for stock quality. Okay. Because like I said, pretty reasonable yield potential was put on early in the season. It's really the tail end that we've compromised, and those plants are going to do everything within their power to finish the grain that's on that plant, and it's going to start cannibalizing itself. I've done a little bit of splitting of stalks, and we're picking up a little bit of stalk rot just starting at the node, but something to be aware of as you start to plan your harvest strategy.
Great stuff. Hey, John, thanks a lot for joining us here today on the Farmer Rapid Fire. Really appreciate it. I know you're out and about visiting customers and stuff like that on days like this, so thanks for making some time for us.
Appreciate it, Shaun. Have a great day.
If you have any feedback on today's show, or maybe you want to be a part of the Farmer Rapid Fire, just send me an email, shaney@realagriculture.com, or of course you can always call that RealAg feedback line, 855-776-6147. And like I said at the beginning of the show, something cool. You can now text us at 855-776-6147. I want to thank Pioneer Seeds Canada for being the exclusive sponsor of the Farmer Rapid Fire here on RealAg Radio. And remember, Pioneer 100 Series, the highest yielding Pioneer brand canola hybrids ever. This isn't just better canola, it is different canola. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative or visit pioneer.com/100 series to learn more. Okay, I'm off tomorrow. That's right. I'm taking Friday off. I can do that. And listen, this show is in very good hands. Lindsay Smith will be here in the host chair, and she'll take care of you. She's got a Real Ag Issues panel with Tyler McCann of Cappy and Kelvin Hepner from Real Agriculture. I'm going to be walking up and down Broadway going from honky-tonk to honky-tonk, so I will be in no condition to be on this show here tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for getting real and getting connected with Real Ag Radio. Cheers, everybody.